what information could you offer somebody that's saying, listen, I want to be a recording artist, whether it's rap or singing or whatever? What would you offer them about the industry that is no holds barred? Sometimes the truth hurts, but I'm going to give you this.
I would say the only thing that's the same is, as far as the advice, would be to get around people who know more than you, who's done more than you. But in that, make sure that they've done more. Make sure that they know more. I think from years to come, that will be, to me, that's the most sound advice.
I'm Ricky Willis. You might have seen me on TV, and now I'm taking on the podcast world. Join me as we dive into stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I believe everyone has a story we can learn from. Let's talk about yours. This is the Clever Conversations podcast. What's going on, baby? It's your man Clever with Clever Conversations. And today, I got the personal pleasure of speaking with Anthony Parrish. What's up, baby?
What yeah?
Man.
Yo.
Hey, man, finally get to see you, bro.
Man, glad to be seen.
Man, listen, you are a busy guy, man.
I'm trying to stay busy.
Busy is a good problem to have, though, right?
It is, but
You want to be less busy?
Definitely.
Can I use this much less busy?
Just a little bit.
All right, so what I want you to do is tell the people a little bit about who Anthony Parrish is.
Okay, I'm a father, a brother, an uncle, cousin, and a musician and producer for the stars. Put it that way.
Great way to put it.
For the stars. Yeah, just a grateful being.
So, where were you born and raised?
I was born here in Savannah. We moved to Albany when I was very young. So, like, when I do talk childhood stuff, it's mainly New York. But we moved back to Savannah when I was 12. So, yeah, born in Savannah, pretty much raised between Albany, New York, and Savannah.
And so, are you in Savannah now?
No, I'm in Atlanta now.
Okay. That's where the music at.
Yeah.
So, with you being a musician for the stars, if we could, just for the people, if you don't mind, just if you could just tell us about 5 to 30. No, I'm just just tell a few names who people will definitely know once they're here. Who you've been in personal contact with, who you've played with their band, who you was their minister of music, who you was the director of music, all of that good stuff. Can you tell the people just a few names? Just tell people a few names.
Well, I wasn't anyone's minister of music.
I just said that.
But that's good, though.
You like that?
I like that. But I've worked with Jay Holiday, Neo, Tony and Tamar Braxton, Donnie McClurkin, Dietrich Haddon, T-Pain, Kelly Rowland, Alicia Keys, Jodeci, Keith Sweat. It's other people. But currently, J. Cole, I'm his bassist. I'm in his band, J. Cole, and more recently, Fantasia's musical director.
Come through, bruh. Every time you name the person, I just felt like I want to cry because I've never been to any of their shows and hear you just chilling with them. So full disclosure, one day we were hanging and you receive a phone call. And I was like, who was that? You was like, oh, that's Kelly. I was like, Kelly? Yeah, you was like, Kelly Rowland. I said, bruh, if you don't put some respect on her name, you remember? Kelly Rowland is calling you and you think that's just Kelly. If you don't put some respect on Kelly Rowland's name, man.
I think it was only because I said Kelly. Like,
yeah. You know her though. The thing is, for me, it was, you know her enough to call her Kelly. Mm-hmm. And she Miss Rowland to me. So that was just, clowning. So how long have you been in the music game? Did you go to school for it, or just something that you just took up?
I've been in it 20 years.
20 years, like professionally?
Professional.
Okay.
I didn't go to school for it. It actually just fell on me, honestly. It wasn't necessarily something that I told myself, I want to do this. Yeah. It just kind of fell in place. And because as far as school is concerned, after high school, I went to college undecided. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I played sports, so never really worked in high school. So I was focused on sports. So once that didn't work out, I'm going to college undecided. But then a phone call happened to get me to play at a church. And I'm 18, didn't even know you can play at church as a job. Didn't know it.
Didn't know you could make money for that.
Did not know. And it was this guy, Isaac Wilson, here in Savannah. A friend of the family, he hit my mom's up to see if I still played bass. And so she connected the dots or whatever. And so I was talking to him and he was saying something about, I want to bring a squad to these churches. So I'm like, to play at church? Bro, I had did an application for movie gallery. There's a movie gallery here. I did an application for movie gallery. Like I'm planning out what I need to do because I'm freshman. The school is like 2 hours away. So, this is my first for real, grown up type deal. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm in the dorm, but still I gotta take care of myself. So I'm doing all that. And so he's like, play at the churches, we can get paid. And I was like, wait, you can get paid playing at church?
They never told us.
Never had that information. Never, bro. And so I was like, I can do that. And it's only that first check. It's only 2 hours away, and it's just the weekend. There was like no rehearsal, nothing like that for real. So you just come on Sunday. So that's how it all started. Like, I can make a little money. Now I end up having to play for like 2 churches for it to make some little sense
for the dollars to make sense
for an 18-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So, but still, that's where it all started. And then after that, I got introduced to people here in Savannah. One, my homie Jiren, who me and him moved to Atlanta together. But I got introduced to some people, and I just kept following the money, honestly, because we went to Atlanta. We was playing for Savannah State's gospel choir. They had a little tour. We went to Atlanta was one of the places. And so we went to this church. We was playing at this church. And the musicians there, they were like, man, you guys are good. You're in Savannah? And we were like, yeah. And they're like, yo, you should move to Atlanta. Like the bass player. And they don't pay like this now. But back then they used to pay in Atlanta. He was like, bro, bass player, you can make like $600 a week. I'm 18, bro. And I tell my boy, I was like, yo, we got to move to Atlanta.
And that was no taxes. Your uncle ain't had no part of that.
The churches, even though the churches, what's the word? Nonprofit, right. They still, when they hire, it's still a thing. Like, your W-2s or whatever. Right. So you had to, and
still,
but still.
18-year-old?
18-year-old.
For 4 hours?
Max. Really, maybe. Well, there was a rehearsal. That's the difference. There's a rehearsal, a couple hours.
Let's say 8 hours. Let's go with 8 hours.
8 hours. And you making like $600 a week.
They hiring now.
The crazy part about it, bro, like we had a plan, but it was intercepted with someone who promised us something. And and we ended up moving earlier. Now, everything happens for a reason.
Right.
So getting to Atlanta when we did actually was a great time. For me, for sure. But it definitely we got there earlier than what we planned on. Luckily, I was in school. They had housing and stuff like that. Because all I did was transfer my college stuff.
Okay.
And so luckily I had had a place to live because I moved to Atlanta for something that wasn't even there. Man. She just wanted us to play for her. Like, she knew we were moving there, and she wanted to jump on us before anybody else in the city did. And she just wanted us to play for her. Like, I mean, she fed us a lot. She fed us like everybody in Atlanta knew her, all this stuff. And then we went to like this little musical, this gospel musical, local city musical. And the guy introduced her as Atlanta's best kept secret in the sense of, you guys don't know her, but she's good. And so I'm like, what in the hell? What?
Bamboozled.
Man. But it was a good time. Like, it was definitely a good time to move when I did. Like, the relationships I built, just two of them for sure that I could think of, got me to where I am today.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, you didn't even want to do music.
Nah, it wasn't
even your thing. Like, I don't want to do music at all.
Nah, the family, man. I told Alveria that I was like, yo, y'all forced this on me, bro.
Tell her. Tell her. She wants you like tell her.
But I already told her though.
I know.
And I was like, yeah, y'all forced. She was like, what do you mean? And I explained to her, I was like, yeah, we were playing and we had the group and everything, but there was never a, hey, do you want to do this? It was never that. It was never that. This is what's going to happen.
Pick up those drumsticks, get on the keyboard, get on the bass guitar, and this is what's happening.
And for me, the force, because I always gonna love music. I'm a musician at heart regardless. You know what I'm saying? Musician at heart regardless. But the drive and the want became real diminished in me because of the force. Forcing me to do it. I feel like if I had a choice, and even in the music aspect, if I had my choice, like how I wanted to do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I would be further, or I would have gotten to where I've gotten to quicker because I would have put time in to learn certain things. And you know what I'm saying? So I feel like even though it was quick, but I still feel like I learned a lot of stuff too late. Like, once I learned it, I was like, I should have been on this.
Once you found a passion for it, you were already some years behind.
Yes. And then, like I said, it was quick. Once I was learning stuff, once picking it up was quick, and that really let me know, like, you should have been knew this. But I knew this. It wasn't in my heart, like, to even everybody. Literally, almost everybody. Maybe I'm gonna say 97% of everyone that I work with was in the band, at school, all the stuff. I wasn't in none of that. I got basketball practice, bro. I got football practice,
Triple doubles tonight.
What you talking about?
Bass guitar, man. We playing them fools over there.
We playing the rivalry tonight. I'll play that tomorrow when I ain't got nothing to do.
So, what was your first musical experience like? Because the little birdie told me that you did some stuff when you were really super young.
I played drums for a concert. It was a choir concert, and from what I was told, I was like 4.
4 years old.
I was like
playing
4.
drums for a choir concert.
It was like 4 or 5, and that was like, it was really, really cool because it was like,
that's amazing,
actually
brother.
Play, and
So was drums your first musical passion?
I would say it was the first instrument that I played.
Okay.
I won't really say passion.
So what all instruments do you play?
I play. No, well, I guess I still play drums, keys, bass guitar. Yeah.
Which one out of the process? Which one do you find Which one did you find the hardest to learn? The hardest to
Keys.
Keyboard players be everywhere. You like
it's a matter of like what key the song in. So even though it's the same, the feel is always different. From A flat major to D major, everything. How can I say it? Everything theory wise is the same as far as the knowledge of what's where on the theory side of it. But when you playing keyboards, because of how the keys are, the position of your fingers is different. Okay. So, honestly speaking, I would honestly say that keyboards, playing keys, wasn't really what I wanted to do. I just happened to be able to hear and play certain things, and then just coming up in church, you know, everybody else just played drums. That's it. Nobody else played nothing else. So, for me, it just made sense because I play bass, but it just made sense to just play keys because you can play bass and you can play chords. So it made sense for me to do that so it could sound better than you just got a drummer and a bass player.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying? So, but keys wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do. That just kind of happened because I was able to hear and can kind of get into it. But it was definitely, I would say it was the hardest when it came to positioning your hands. And there's this button on the keyboard called the transpose button. So
transpose.
So what that transpose does is if I'm playing in the key of C and I'm comfortable playing in that key, I can hit that, and they say the song is in F, I can hit that transpose button and it turn the key of C into F. And so that's how I grew up playing. My key was A flat. So it didn't matter what key the song is, I can push this button, it's going to turn that A flat into a D, into a E flat, so I did it that way.
I like playing in W sharp.
That's a good key.
Yeah, because a lot of people know how to play in W sharp.
A lot of people don't even know where that is.
Yeah, see? There you go, because I'm super, right?
Because I'm super is wild talk, bro.
Because I'm a super musician. People don't know what a W.
Super, I would tell people that. Yeah, because I'm super, bro.
Yeah, they have to they don't put enough time in to learn to play the key of W.
I'm gonna do that. Listen to me.
Sharp.
Listen to me. Why? Because I'm super.
Yeah, that's me. You don't even know how to play in W.
That
man.
is wild talk, bro.
So you so right now you playing bass.
Yes.
And is this your love, bass?
Yes.
13 strings. How many strings do you play?
5, but like, you know, I could play standards 4. 6 strings are kind of like outdated, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like, yeah, just in the sense of, in my opinion, from what I saw, bass players stop playing bass because now you got this high string, so everybody's all up, all up here, and it's like, bro, you the bass player. You need to play bass. Mm-hmm. We got to get to our player, bro. We need you to play bass. And so in my opinion, that just kind of, and people still play them, but like it's not. I remember when it was like you got to have a 6 string, but like now it's just like, bro, like we play bass.
So do you have a particular type and or bass that you like to play? Is there like any particular brand that you just feel like this is me right here?
I play a Lakeland, but I also like Fender, and you can never go wrong with Fender. It's the American standard. But with my rider's Fenders. So
Pause.
Rider.
Pause. What is that?
So
what is a rider?
I feel like you have riders when you like go to stuff and there's certain things that you need
Right.
and you shoot that over to wherever you're going or whatever.
It's the list of things that you need.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Because I be wanting oxtail and cabbage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's mine.
But for the musician, the rider is basically
what equipment do you want to be clean with?
What you.
So when you're doing a rider, do you have to say, I need the thing you play with the foot to change the
pedals?
Now, did you change the sounds on some stuff? Like guitar players,
guitar players normally bring their own pedal.
Okay.
But like, it's like the drummers, definitely. Every piece of drum, they in their rider, they literally put every.
I need this kind of snare, this tom, this bass,
this size toms, this brand. I need these stands,
these
this
kind
hardware.
of pedals.
You know what I'm saying? Keyboard players, they just put all the keys that they play. I need this Kronos. I need this Nord, whatever it is. Me, I do. Now I put the bass guitar on my rider. When I was younger, I would bring my bass everywhere.
Right.
But I would also have a backup bass, just in case. And so like my rider would consist of a default rider for me, depending on the gig, but a default rider for me, 2 keyboards for like key bass, like J. Cole. Let me give you my J. Cole. So because he's a rapper, I have a board to where I have a cool 808 on it. So I need that board. And there's another board that I use just for regular, just key bass stuff. But and we forward it to production or wherever for the concert or whatever, and they get it for us.
Okay, so they have your stuff ready, so you don't have to.
We ain't bringing nothing.
You don't have to bring that. That's cool. You have a production company?
I do.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. What's the name of it?
Hef-D. So Hef-D Music.
Hef-D Music.
Yes.
Is it acronym for something?
Yes. So my original production company was called Ed Will. When I started that, at the time, only grandma, grandpa, granddad was gone. I still had my grandparents on my father's side. So Ed Will was Ernest Daisy Williams. So my history that I have, and I told myself I was going to dig deeper into it, but the history that I have as far as the family is concerned peaks at grandparents. Like my great grandmother on my father's side, I didn't even meet her, but I went to her funeral. You know what I'm saying? Like I never met her, anything, but the first time I saw her was at her funeral.
Right.
So my peak is grandparents. So at the time it was only them gone, so it was Ernest Daisy Williams. But then time went on, lost the other 2. So Hef-D is Henry, Ernest, Florence, and Daisy.
That's cool. There's a meaning behind it,
yes.
Man. That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. So what made you want to start your production company? What made you say like
I got a phone call from a notable he's rest in peace, Papa Jeff, amazing bass player. Played on a lot of gospel records back in the day. Jeff Smith from Atlanta. And he was once I moved to Atlanta that would reach out to me from time to time, check on me. Hey, just checking on you, see how you doing. And so, mind you, Jeff he's older. He has grandkids, all this stuff. And so I'm 21 and he calls me and he's like, how you doing? Just checking in. I'm like, I'm good. And so then he's like, hey man, if you know any church is looking for a bass player, let me know. That kind of did something to me because it's knowing, okay, this is a guy who has grandkids, all this stuff, and he's calling me about a church gig. And I just thought about it and was like, I don't want to be there. Like, I don't want to have grandkids still looking for a church gig. So I got to figure out what else is there to do that'll make sense as far as life after bass guitar. Because at that time, it was just bass guitar. I wasn't producing nothing. I want none of that. I was just the musician. I had stuff, like a little setup, but right. I wasn't really doing nothing. But when he called me, it was like, bro, I gotta get, I need to see what's up with this production. Like I gotta get into that. So that's how that started.
So with the production, that entails when you write for people, whether it's music and or songs.
Yes, it's writing lyrics, writing music, AKA producing the track.
Right.
That stuff. But the company that I have, my production company, everything's just up under that. So like I have this production company, I have this LLC. Everything is paid to that. Whether it's a tour, whether it's music production, whether it's whatever, it's all going to
your production.
To my production.
That's pretty cool. So what advice and or information would you've been in the industry for years. What was funny one day is I was looking at a video and for some reason I can't find it. And you on a video, I think, with T.I.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all did something.
That's a funny story too, though.
Is it tellable?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear the story. All I know is I was watching television or YouTube or whatever. And then, I mean, I know he's been, like, again, the dude did you play with the Jackson 5?
I didn't play for him, but I ran, like, the tracks, the playback and everything.
Okay,
so I worked with them.
You worked with them?
Yeah.
I can't get New Edition tickets, but he worked with the Jackson 5.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. They won't call me no more, but that's a funny story too. But yeah.
So I'm watching this YouTube or something I was looking at, and I see T.I. and I see that's and I get on the horn like, yo, what's this? So how did that come about? What was that like? And
so one of my close friends out there in Atlanta, shout out to Stroud. He producer. And he was one of T.I.'s producers. So he was doing the video for that particular song. I forgot the name of it, but that particular song. So Stroud hit me up and was like, yo, Tip doing this video, trying to get a band look. Can you throw something together? And this is the day of. Can you throw something together?
So he called you this morning and said you need something for this evening.
Call me that day. Can you make it happen? So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And the cast that I got, even me, I actually had a session that I was supposed to do, but and I think one of the other musicians, he had a session as well. But everybody was like, all right, cool. Now the thing was, we weren't worried about getting paid because it was just it was supposed to be quick little situation. We ain't worried about no check. We know this just a video.
Right.
We ain't even playing. We just here for the look. So nobody really worried about getting paid. But what happened was that was around the same time that movie that he had out. It was Chris Brown, Idris.
Yeah. Was it Takers?
Takers.
I think it was Takers.
So that was around that time that movie. That was literally the day the movie came out. And so we end up going to the set, ready to go, but we're waiting on Tip. Okay. So then he finally comes. He does his slots with just him and everything and da-da-da. So when it's time for us to roll up to get in place or whatever, he's like, I'll be right back. I gotta go hit these movie theaters and everything. So he was gone for hours. And so I sent a text like, yo, we weren't worried about getting paid. But now, bro, they gotta shoot us something because this is like a full work day. It's like it's going on 8 hours. So like, bro, like they gotta pay us. They gotta pay us. And so it became a problem.
Really?
Yes. And so when he got back, because they came to me and it was like, yeah, we're gonna wait for Tip to get back. We let him know or something like that. And I'm like, all right, cool. So he got back and he took me to the back, whatever. He was talking to me and trying to figure out why now. Because initially, like I said, we weren't worried about it. But then it was like, why now? I said, well, here's the thing, bro. We've been here for hours. Full work day, bro. I had something else I had to do.
Right, I had
the guitar player had something else he had to do. But we postponed those and all of that just to do this video, you know what I'm saying, looking out for my boy and everything. But this you have our time right now, bro. So like we just need to get paid. And so then he tried to spend it on some old exposure and all this crap. And I was like, I said, dude, I said, you can stop that. You can stop that talk because all of us play for people. The reason why I got the call is because
I already played for a celebrity.
So this ain't going to do nothing for us. I said, I told him straight up, I said, bro, I took this on because I've been a fan of you before you were big. I was listening to your underground stuff when I was in high school, bro. So to do something with Tip, that's cool. I said, but at the same time is time.
You gotta respect yours.
So like, you doing your thing, you about to make you a big check off this movie and all this stuff. But we can't be here for 10 hours and don't see nothing, like don't get nothing. And he
like y'all was groupies.
Yeah, and then he pull out the cash. Like, I mean, it ain't that I could pay y'all. I pull out the cash. I said, all right, so this is what we need.
Since you pulling
out the cash.
Since you pulling it out.
This is what you need. And I told him, and then he was like, all right, cool. I'd rather pay y'all through payroll though, but
I'd rather pay y'all through payroll. I'm gonna pull the cash out, flex a little bit with it. Oh, I got money. Put it to his head like I got money. You hear this? But I would rather pay y'all through payroll.
And I feel like, but the crazy thing is, like, after we did the shoot, whatever, he came to me and he was like, bro, I appreciate you manning up.
Yeah.
I appreciate you manning up. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, nah, because, you know, some people they'll just go for anything, whatever. Then he tried to turn it into, not that I'm saying that I was trying to do you like that.
Right.
But, you know, I appreciate you for manning up. I said, yeah. It was kind of like, why did you man up or something to that point? And I was like, well, what you need to understand is that, again, we already tour. We already play for people. We already do this. So to give me exposure and stuff like that, doesn't work for me.
Yeah, you're already exposed.
Yeah.
You had a story of one day being in the airport and seeing...
Oh, Teddy Riley.
Again. Could you turn this up a little bit for me right here, sir? Could you turn... Thank you, sir. Again.
No, that was actually dope, though. Like...
Tell that story.
That was actually dope. My Teddy story is actually dope because he knew who I was before that airport thing.
But wait. But you didn't need that exposure that somebody was getting ready to get?
I didn't.
Okay, well, go ahead and tell the story.
So Teddy, of course, this was me working with Keith Sweat. So working with Keith Sweat.
Another one. You going to DJ Khaled me all night. Another one. Yeah, I was working with Keith and
So while working with Keith, of course, we on a couple of tickets with Guy and Blackstreet. So that's Teddy Riley all day. So the first time I actually talked to Teddy, I was out with Alicia. And
excuse me, sir.
I already gave her, she was a part of the names that I gave earlier, so I don't even know what.
Another one. Could you please call her Miss Keys?
I call her AK, bro.
Let me find out y'all got toy names.
That's AK, bro. But
go ahead, man.
We was out in Aruba.
And y'all out the country.
We was in Aruba, and so it was Guy on the same ticket. So, now mind you, I've seen Teddy and said hello and everything while being on the same tickets with him when working with Keith, but we never talk. So, I'm out there with Alicia. We finished the set. All the stuff's going. So, we all hanging out talking. And so, Teddy, I go up to him. I say, what's up? And he's like, dude, I've been trying to figure out where I know you from. And so I was like, from where? So he was like, Danye, which is he's a dope producer and everything. So some years ago, Danye did this production thing, and it was like me, him, who I can't remember where Danye lives, but one of the keyboard player was in California. And so basically what he did was send out a track, we played on it, recorded ourselves on video, and we just put it together.
Right.
And so that was years ago. And so Danye was working with Teddy. So Teddy was like, I was trying to figure out, bro, you did the thing with Danye. Because remember, I told you I've seen Teddy before, right?
Right.
But when I seen Teddy, the position I was in wasn't bass player. I didn't play bass for Keith.
Okay.
I was his playback guy. I ran all the tracks and did all that stuff. So Teddy couldn't place it then because he saw me in a whole nother position.
Right.
But when he saw me on stage with Alicia, then it was like, bro, I got it now. He's like, the whole time I was looking at you in them other shows, I was trying to, where do I know this dude from? And so he remembered me, the way he said he remembered me just based off the playing, but he remembered my face.
Right.
So that was the first time it was like, oh, what up, you know. Some months go by and see him, and I walk through the airport, he's there, he's like, yo. I was like, yo.
Teddy Riley, see you in the airport like, yo.
Yes, and I didn't see him, and all I heard was, yo, and it made me look up. And I look up, and I was like, yo. And then, you know, it was really dope because it was Teddy Riley. I was like, man, Teddy Riley really know who I am.
I had that problem all the time because I was like, I was at the cab.
Let me know.
Yeah, and then Jay-Z was like, Rick, is that you? Clever.
Crazy work.
Okay.
Crazy work.
Okay. Okay, well, maybe that wasn't exactly how it happened. Nah, but man, really, that is, how cool was that though?
Man, I swear, bro, like after we went our separate ways, I was just like,
you got on the horn with somebody quick. Yo,
this is crazy. like, but that just be my life. Like, I'm really, even as long as I've been doing this, as much as I've done, I still get like, I can't believe this is happening, bro. Like I still get that way. And I would say I get that way because I know how it started. Remember I was saying, like, I felt like there was a lot of stuff that I learned too late. And so when I started, I was green. I just played. I didn't know where the notes were on the bass. I didn't know any type of musician lingo. They do numbers. I didn't know nothing. I knew nothing, bro. I just played. And I skated by from just being able to play. And so I was green, bro. And so, like, to kind of see everything happening now, I still go back there. So, like, when all this stuff is happening, it's just kind of like, this is nuts, man.
But it also shows that, I mean, just you saying that also shows that even though you are elbow to elbow with world-renowned celebrities every day, every week, whatever, it still shows that you are humble enough to appreciate the opportunity that you get. Some people don't. Some people, you know, they got one album and then they like, I'm this, you know.
Yeah.
So that shows that you are from a good enough cloth that taught you. Mm-hmm. Just be humble. Just be humble. Because it can always be somebody else. I'm sure you know musician friends, bro, that you got in with people, that's not around,
man,
now.
I tell people all the time, like, bro, just in the instrument that I play alone, I know bass players that are crazy, amazing, but it ain't doing nothing that I'm doing. Like, not even close, bro. And I'm not never try to belittle my playing, you know what I'm saying? But I honestly feel like my success is, yes, I can play. Yes, they like what they hear. But I feel like my success is just because I stay in that student seat And then like my production partner, I learned from him without him really teaching me. Like he would do stuff, bro. We were working on people's stuff and they'd be trash. I don't want to say it like that, but just,
I got you.
They're not really good. But his interaction with them, they're stars. And for a long time, I used to look and be like, nigga, this ain't good.
What are you doing?
And what was happening was, he'll treat them that way. They'll go tell other people who got money, who's important. And now, now we working on bigger projects. Now,
based on treating somebody kind.
Yes.
Based on, it's not my job. I'm here to produce your track. I'm not here to judge your track.
Yes.
That's going to be for the public.
Yes.
That's not my job. So based on me just doing my job, I got another job.
Got another situation.
Yeah, that's strong.
And I learned that because literally I used to be thinking in my head, I never asked him, but in my head I used to be like, the hell is she talking about? She did not land that. She don't sound good.
She played in W.
But
because I'm super, that's why I can do that.
Yes, but bro, like it worked. I've seen it. Like I've seen it. Like he's out with Justin Timberlake right now. Like, and not to say that played a little part in it, but like he prior to Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
And honestly, it don't even matter how big the project was. We was always working because he was always being nice, and you know what I'm saying? We always had projects.
That's cool, man. That's
always.
That's a solid dude.
Bruh.
What's his name?
Justin Gilbert. Shout out G-Pack.
Shout out G-Pack. Well, how you did, I want to do the same thing.
Man.
Shout out G-Pack.
My man Justin Gilbert. He's out there MD.
Did I meet Justin?
I think you did meet Justin.
I feel like I met Justin.
I think at the thing you came to where we met Chris Webber.
Yeah.
I think Justin was there. I think
the tall dude. Played basketball.
Yeah,
that guy.
But I think you met I'm pretty sure you met Justin.
I think I did.
Yeah.
In Atlanta area, you guys played at what was the place?
Apache Cafe.
Apache Cafe. They didn't pay me, but I'm gonna plug them. Apache Cafe. Listen, I had the opportunity to come seeing you and some of your friends perform there. Yeah. Dude, what was the Apache Cafe experience in Atlanta? What was that like, and how did it come about even? So
Apache, well, the place you went to, they don't have it there no more, which sucks so bad. Sucks, man. And the place they have it at now, it's not really the same. Like they don't even have, nothing is really the same.
Okay.
But that Apache, it used to be called Yin Yang. I would say maybe like at least 7 years before I moved there. At least. It could be longer, but Apache was the place that all musicians, singers knew about. Like Wednesday nights at Apache were just like India.Arie started in there.
Really?
Bro, like, Avery Sunshine?
Yeah.
Denise started right in there.
Who is Denise?
That's Avery Sunshine.
Don't do that.
That's Avery Sunshine. Avery Sunshine, shout out to Denise. I love you, sis. Shout out. That was my first local gig. She had a group called Daisy Rue. Her and this other lady named Maya. And this before she was Avery Sunshine. That was my first gig in the city. And it opened a lot of doors.
She's a beast, though.
Yeah. Yes.
She is a beast.
Yes. I love her.
Shout out to Denise, Avery Sunshine. Shout out.
Love her husband. Yeah. Great people.
Yeah, man.
But Apache used to be the spot everybody would come to, even if you was on tour. And you on tour, and your tour ended up in Atlanta on a Wednesday. After the show, they going to Apache.
I remember, excuse me. I remember you inviting me to Apache. I went with you. And
that was a Tribute Thursday, John.
And I literally heard a lady sing Jill Scott song.
Oh, no, you went to a Wednesday night. Yeah,
it was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I literally seen a lady sing Jill Scott better than Jill Scott. One lady was singing Sade. And I was like, that's Sade. She gained some weight. Like,
bro,
amazing. Like the talent that comes through there. Also, the guy who played the keyboard for New Edition, or Bobby Brown. Boom,
yeah,
boom,
Trey.
boom. He was, you gotta keep calling names though, bro. You got
Trey, that's my guy. Trey actually put me on my first major gig.
Really?
Tony Braxton.
He was there when you introduced me to him. Yeah. He was there. So it was, I mean, you introduced me to Chris Webber.
Yeah.
And with the Dream, I think, when we went to the other spot, the same place. It was a show.
Not the Dream, but Jazzy Faye.
Jazzy Faye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had I bumped elbows with a couple of celebrities. That's how I get that. I'm super, bro. That's how I get that.
I'm super is so funny.
But so let's dig a little bit into your teaching skills, if you don't mind. So with you being in the music for 20 plus years, with you being professionally in the music for 20 plus years, with all of your travels and all of the stars that you met and all of the people that you met and all of the instrument and all of the learning and everything that you've done, if somebody was to say, I want to record a rap, I want to be a rapper, how would you tell them the process of the production side of it? Like, should they just go ahead and download some beats from online and record themselves rapping over the beat, or should they invest their quality time into getting a producer? And if so, how does that process work? Do I just give you a track and say, hey, I want to rap to this? Or do you say, I know the guy, let me hear some of your stuff and kind of get a feel for the person? Or how do you go about creating a track for artists that you may not really know, for a non-celebrity artist?
What I do is ask, first I ask, do they want to be commercial, or do you have a sound already that you're just trying to?
What's the difference to the naked ear, to regular people?
So when I say, do you want to be commercial, or do you have another sound, or your sound? For the most part, you have to sound like this to be huge, if you will. Huge celebrity, whatever. You have to have, on the pop culture side, you have to sound like this. You have to have this type of beat. You have to, all this. So that's where we are right now. But then on the other hand is, do you have a sound, you know what I'm saying, that's you, and that you like, that's someone who really is really in tune with their sound, and they don't care, if you will, about being
big, huge. They just want to record something.
They just, I feel like this will be good, because you got some underground rappers, singers today that make money. They just not as popular as SZA or
Sexy
Red, or you know what I'm saying? They're not as popular as them, but they have an audience. When we talk about PJ ain't never been commercial until, for real, in my opinion, after he started working with Maroon 5. Before Maroon 5,
he is a beast, though.
Right, but PJ before Maroon 5, it was all independent.
PJ
Morton. It was all independent. It was all underground. If he had a label, it was his label, because his daddy Paul Morton, the gospel artist, full gospel and everything. So he had, in my opinion, he had that, and it was a small crush because it was totally different. It was gospel, then you had PJ with the R&B. So, right. But at the same time, his dad was Paul Morton, a singer. You know what I'm saying? A singer. So you got this singer pastor who has hits. he ain't just a singing pastor. No,
Right.
he has hits.
Right.
So you have this singing pastor who has this son who is an amazing keyboardist, and he can sing and he can write. So that already drew so many people to him. I remember he had a group called Freestyle Nation. That's my first time I got on the PJ. Before his solo career, he had a group, Freestyle. They were amazing, and it was straight for the musicians. And
That's cool.
so like, and it wasn't like jazz fusion music, but it was just feel good music. The writing was good, the harmonies, because it was live.
Right.
Everything about it was amazing. So now he grabs this following, and we all looking at Freestyle Nation, but we all know that's PJ. You know what I'm saying? So then once it's kind of like Beyonce, like, you know what I'm saying? Once he decided to go and do his thing,
changed the dynamics.
Man, everybody just follow PJ.
Yeah.
And so like it ain't that you can't make on the monetary side, it ain't that money can't be made, but it's just a matter of how popular do you want to be? Because if you want to be a huge celebrity on Kodak Black or Big Sean or whatever, you want to be on they type big, you might have to sound like what's happening.
So if I told you that I wrote something and I want you to tell me if it'll work on like a Big Sean or Kodak Black track, you'll tell me?
Yes.
Okay, listen. Basketball is my favorite sport. I like to run the dribble up and down the court. You think that'll probably
not Big Sean. Probably not Kodak.
Okay.
That would just have to be you just have to be independent artist.
That would be one of those. You like your style?
You like your style? You just got to go with that. And the thing is too, though, bro. As funny as that was, somebody might try to do that and put out a project. It might blow up just because. Just because.
Abnormal.
Yes, just because.
Dude, you gotta be super to do that. Everybody can't do it. What I do.
You gotta think about certain things happening. Like, you know, the Asian dude, she bangs.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing ever, but he became huge.
Yeah.
So
Made a lot of money off She Bang.
Yes. And so that may work.
Let me try it again. Basketball is my favorite sport. I like to run and dribble up and down the court.
That is so 1982 Sugar Hill Gang, nigga.
Yeah,
but
that ain't, we shouldn't, that's not in no more?
It's not, but.
Okay, cool.
But.
Gotta rewrite it.
But. I feel like there's a lane for everything. It depends on your team, how you put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like all that, it depends on all of that. You look at like Lucky Day.
Nice.
So Lucky Day, if you listen to his music, Lucky is kind of on some old school type stuff.
Definitely on. He playing with Earth, Wind, and Fire, dude.
Yeah. So what's happening is the way they marketing him, the way they put it out there, is working perfect, bro. So like in if they weren't doing what they were doing behind him, it just would have been another good record that no one has ever heard.
Let's talk a little bit about the music industry today.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, and then I want you to elaborate on your answer.
Okay.
Okay. Kendrick or Drake?
Well, there's not a or. I like both of them, but for different reasons. Honestly, I like old Drake better than this new Drake.
Old Drake being Keisha, are you with me? Keisha, can you feel me? Na, 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 na.
Old Drake as in, I mean, yeah, maybe that down.
Okay.
Maybe from there down. That'll be the peak. But I mean, new Drake is the same Drake, but I feel like because of staying with the time, you know, that's kind of altering the Drake I like.
Okay.
Just for him staying with the time.
I like
And
the way you said that. The Drake I like.
At the same time, like, I ain't mad at him for staying with the time. That's just, you know, Most people can't do it.
Stay relevant.
Most people cannot do it.
LL Cool J could do it. It's only a few people.
It's only a few.
A few people that can stay relevant.
That can stay relevant. Like
past their expiration, if you will.
Yes. And Drake has done it. So, you know, I don't hate on him for that. But as far as the Drake that I like, it'll be the older Drake. But Kendrick, I like Kendrick. I like his delivery. His energy. I like his performances. I
heard he has really nice concerts and shows.
Yes. He the effort that's put into it is high.
Yeah.
And so it's not really an or with them. Like,
so it'd be a Kendrick and.
Yeah.
All right. So Nas or Jay? And why?
I will honestly say, because both of them are dope rappers. I love both
Goats.
of them. Man, amazing. But I will lean more towards Jay just because of the production side. The production side on Jay kind of lifts it up for me than Nas.
So, fun fact, I was never a Jay-Z fan.
Mm-hmm.
I started listening to Jay-Z because I am an Eminem fan.
Mm-hmm.
And Eminem was on the track with Jay-Z, Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what made me started listening. So like everybody was like, Reasonable Doubt, no. I wasn't really, I wasn't feeling him because to me it felt commercial.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like when Cristal came out, everybody popping Cristals because that's what's in, you know. When Timberlands started doing their thing, everybody rocking Timberlands because that's what's in. And I just felt, to me, that's what Jay-Z was like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to Jay-Z on Renegade. Then I was like, okay, well, let me check him out. And one of Jay-Z lines said, "Let me tell you cowards what I'll do to protect this. Shoot at you actors like movie directors." Oh. Oh. Now you got my attention. You have my attention now. Because the metaphor from "let me tell you cowards what I'll do to protect this, I'll shoot at you actors like movie directors." Yo, I was locked. I was locked in. Yeah. So fair to say now I'm kind of a Jay fan based on M introducing me to him, if you will. Yeah. But prior to that, I was just
I've always liked him, but like I said, his production work was just like always amazing. Now, definitely commercial because you got, in my opinion, looking at who, even just the hits, not just the track 3, but the hits. You think about all that stuff. It's Pharrell, it's Timbaland,
Kanye.
It's Kanye. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and Nas, and not to say he ain't never worked with any of them people, but like it just not, and I'll play Nas stuff. I'll bump it. You know what I'm saying? But like Jay stuff, I don't know. It was a different, and it's probably the musician in me too. His stuff was a different music thing for me.
I like,
especially that Kanye stuff. Oh my God!
Listen, Otis, was it Otis when they was in the car
before Otis?
I'm just saying.
Bro, like,
for me, it was just like. For me, it was like, yeah. Yeah. I was, and I ripped they done snatched the top off of it, right? Yo, listen,
nigga,
I'm saying.
Let me tell you what did it for me, and it may be strange, but Hard Knock Life.
It's a hard knock.
That sample is amazing,
it's
bro.
Super, bro. It's me.
It's super. Who would have thought to sample Annie, nigga? Annie, nigga. Yo, that's genius, bro. Like
that was a Kanye track, yeah.
That was Kanye, bro. Like to sample, you know, like how they sample. Just sampling 70s music, 60s music. That's like, you know, you're gonna get that. But this nigga sampled Annie, nigga. Oh my God. And then you had Jay's delivery on top of the sample. Oh, that I was like, yo, at that point, Kanye was the best producer in the world to me at that point. At that point. But I mean, then, you know,
life,
everything started happening. Pharrell started coming out with other stuff. It was just like, okay.
All right. So with that being said, 5 top producers, not necessarily in any particular order. Mm-hmm. What's your 5 top producers?
Raphael Sadiq, and he's number 1.
Okay, we're gonna just give him that. We're
just giving Raphael Sadiq number 1. But Raphael Sadiq, Ye, Timbaland, Babyface, Pharrell, and Pharrell too, mainly because not just the hits, but his scoring. Like
B-side stuff too.
Like his B-side and his scoring. Despicable Me, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Nigga. Oh, I was in the movie theater going crazy. I was watching the goddamn Despicable Me. Nigga, that music was lit, dog.
We watching the movie and you hearing the music.
I'm hearing Pharrell, nigga, just and it's me and my son, so he's a music head too. So we both like, ooh, it's going crazy.
People think y'all crunk about the show. Is it
y'all niggas ain't hearing what the hell is happening in the background. Y'all need to listen to what's going on in the background, bro. Like Pharrell definitely became like higher up in my list because of that. Cause it was scoring, but it was still Pharrell. It was still that Neptunes.
Classic. Yeah.
It was still that, bro. But you can tell it was scoring, which is crazy. You can tell it was scoring, but he did not move from what we know Pharrell to be.
You did mention your number 1, which what was your love for Raphael Sadiq?
So I was always a fan. I just told somebody this. I was always a fan of Tony. Always. They just had something. I didn't know exactly what it was, but any Tony song that I can just listen to, all the hits was I repeated. You know what I'm saying? Then Raphael Sadiq went ahead and did his solo album. It was the year of 2002. I was 18. He puts his album out, and I listened to the album from top to bottom. And when I say top to bottom, gospedelic. When I say from top to bottom, he had a hidden track on there. And so I listened to the whole album top to bottom, and it was literally the first album of my life that I listened from top to bottom and liked everything.
Really?
It was literally the first album of my entire life.
A lot of people don't know that he is actually a great musician too.
Yes, but see, that's what I'm getting to. So like what happened was I listened to this whole album, and you know on that album he got the song with D'Angelo, You Should Be Here, right? So
You should
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at instant vintage. But the genre was gospedelic. That's he named the genre gospedelic. So I'm looking at the video, right? And so I see him in the video with a bass and D'Angelo with a guitar. So I'm like, Raphael Sadiq play bass. I'm 18. This is high school. This is before I graduated. So like, Raphael Sadiq play bass. So I did some research. This nigga produced songs that you ain't never. Lady, D'Angelo. That's him on bass. Doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, yo. And I'm listening, and there's other songs, that all that Lucy Pearl stuff.
Lucy Pearl.
That's him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yo, this is stuff that I love, bro. Like there was a song on the what was that? It was an animated show that Eddie Murphy did. It was the Super.
I'm Cooper.
No, but the show, the guy was like a super at an apartment. It was animated.
Okay, I don't remember.
But on the soundtrack, there's a song called "Getting Involved," and it was another sample, but it was Raphael Sadiq who did it. In there, I was like, "Yo, this is nut." He had a song. It was with Q-Tip, and that's what made it ultra amazing. So I was like, "Yo, this is nuts."
That's a party,
bruh. So I'm everything that I like. These different songs that I like, that I find out that he's the producer of, he's the writer of. I'm like, bro, I've been a fan of his, didn't even know it. And like, after Instant Vintage, the Gospedelic album, anybody in the music industry that know me, they know Raphael Sadiq is my guy, bro. Like after that Gospedelic Instant Vintage album, like I said, because it was the very first album that I could listen to from top to bottom and
really?
Don't skip, bro. Me and my brothers.
But that was the first album from the top to the bottom?
I was 18 years old. That was the very first album that I listened to from top to bottom
we going
that I
back
liked.
to 18, so I get that part.
And then once I followed him after that,
did you get through your travels? Have you had the opportunity to meet him?
I met him. I met Raphael because I was the musical director for this artist, The Bonfire.
And did you do some production stuff for her?
Yeah,
right?
but it's just not.
It doesn't matter. You did some production stuff for her.
That was Raphael Sadiq's artist.
Okay.
He didn't find her, but he found her.
Right.
And so we working on her project. He was loving everything that was going on. So her manager FaceTimed him and everything. And on the inside, I was going fucking crazy, bro. I was going crazy on the inside. But on the outside, I was cool. He was like, man, I like what y'all doing. Bro, I was going nuts. Because I'm like, bro, Raphael Sadiq like what I'm doing. I was going nuts, bro. But I was cool on the outside. I was cool on the outside.
You got to hold that shell, right? We can't give him too much.
So I met him that way. And then, like, we've been talking back and forth on a couple other projects as of late. So we got a couple other things that we've been working on. And so one of the projects that we've been working on, he wanted me to like sample quartet records, which was kind of cool. Like, so, you know, so I sampled a couple of joints and it was like quartet and like gospel records.
Right.
So I did a couple of joints, but one of the joints I sampled the gospel keynotes, nigga.
Dude.
Yes, their song Show Me the Way. And I sampled the way I chopped it up and everything. And he had to call me. He had to have me on the phone. He was like, nigga, the way you chop that up, nigga, like that joint is crazy. I'm inside.
You going crazy. It's a party in the inside.
Going nuts.
Dude, you got Raphael Sadiq complimenting you on a project you working on.
And not only is it Raphael Sadiq, but it's like my favorite, nigga. Like,
I know.
Nigga, I'm going nuts. Another moment where I'm just like, I cannot believe this is happening.
This is my life? Is this real life?
This is crazy.
Yeah.
But after 2002, that solidified it. Because I was obviously always a fan of him, but I didn't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
like some people, you just don't, like I didn't know until after finding out. I guess that's when I knew, right?
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know until I knew. Whatever. That Neo wrote some stuff for Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, Neo wrote for Lionel Richie.
Crazy, bro.
Yes. That's the look you got. That's the same look I was like, what?
Bro, you'd be surprised, man.
Dude.
Like, you would be surprised, bro. Like, when you really get into people's discography, bro, it's like, what? And then it's one of them things, too, like, even if you don't know, and then let's just say Neo wrote a song for whoever, and then you didn't know it, but then you go back and listen to it, you be like, I hear him now.
I hear Neo now.
I hear him now.
I hear him now. Oh yeah, he in there. I had no idea, man.
Bro.
Now I gotta tell you one of the producers that I admire, and I admire for a lot of reasons, but one is because you gotta be a bad man to write a song with no words and have Shantae Moore sing on the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. Away, away. It's Babyface. He wrote a song that Shantae Moore sung on the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. It's called Way You. I think WEYU. No words. She just like vibing like.
Bro, Babyface is a bad man, bro.
I was like, this song don't got no words. I don't know if y'all know this.
I don't know.
This is a cigar. This is nothing more than just a cigar. So I know I ain't blunted. Like, this song don't have no words.
Babyface. That's why he's on my list,
He
bro.
a beast.
That's why he on my list, bro. I talk to people. We talk about just different eras.
Words.
Talk about different eras. It's like Babyface and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I love Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They are amazing. But what separated Jimmy Jam and Terry from Babyface? Babyface was on everybody's stuff. Jimmy Jam and them, they were doing full albums.
Right.
But Babyface and he's on every. Even if I will argue, I have to look this up, but I will argue until I'm proven wrong that even albums that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis did, Babyface at least had one song on those albums.
I'm sure.
Outside of maybe that Janet stuff, Jimmy Jam and them did all of her stuff, but
yeah, they that was Janet Lane.
Yeah, but outside of Janet, I feel like any projects Jimmy Jam was working on, if they were working on full projects, that artist had at least one song of Babyface.
Have you had the opportunity to work with any super producers and like in the Atlanta area? Because I know you there, but I know you travel too. But who was the coolest producer that people would know that you worked for or worked with, did a project with, that y'all was doing some stuff with?
Probably T-Pain.
Yeah. Y'all did a lot of stuff together, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, we just kind of, I'm working on the project, and so I'm going to try to get him on as a feature on one of my songs.
Well, if he need an extra rapper, remember, basketball is, I'm just saying.
Just remember.
Just remember. So let's talk a little bit about, I just thought about it. So you're currently playing for J. Cole.
Yes.
Kendrick and Drake was in their thing. J. Cole was in it. Mm-hmm. I gotta say that for me, being a J. Cole fan too, it was very admirable from me to see that he dropped out and let them boys have that. So it's like, you know what, I don't really have nothing to prove. So how was that in the camp? During that time, how was that in the camp, in the J. Cole camp?
So this happened, everything started maybe like a month, at most 2 months before the Dreamville Festival. But I think it was just a month, but at most 2 months before the Dreamville Festival. So we're rehearsing for the Dreamville Festival. A couple of weeks. And Cole probably only came to like 2 rehearsals, which he's definitely come to more before. But what was happening was, I don't know if you remember, he had dropped it was like a little comeback song. He put it at the end of a mixtape that he dropped.
Right.
But we were talking to him. We had our sound check before our performance. We had our sound check the day before. And after we did the sound check and all the stuff, we were just kind of chopping it up. And that came up. And from what he was telling us was like, he didn't even hear the first song, which was Kendrick was a feature on Future's song. That's how it all started.
That was the F the Big Three, It's Just Me?
Yes. And that's how it all started on that joint. But Cole, from what he was telling us, he didn't even really hear that song. And so, but the internet picked it up. Cole definitely did get a stray bullet in it, for sure. But it was totally about Drake, for sure. But Cole never heard it. He was telling us that he was getting text messages from everybody's like, bro, you got to come back. You got to. So it was kind of like peer pressure before he can
do something.
Before he even heard anything. You know what I'm saying? And so that time we were there for rehearsals, he was in the studio recording that song, that comeback.
While y'all was waiting.
While we were rehearsing. That's why he only did like 2 days towards the end of the rehearsals. And so the way he was telling us, like, I didn't even hear the song. You know what I'm saying? And basically it was almost like once he heard it, he saw the stray. He heard the stray bullet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like, this ain't really about me. You know, he didn't say that verbatim, but that's kind of what he was saying. It was just kind of like, I heard the stray bullet, but like, this really wasn't about me. So, excuse me, he didn't tell us at that moment, like, yeah, I think I'm just going to apologize. He didn't tell us nothing. So the next day, the show happens. We do the first.
So you were there when the apology happened?
Yes, we were playing. Wow. We were playing. It was the Dreamville Festival when he did it. It was his set. He was the last person to perform at the Dreamville Festival every year. And it was during his set. We did the first couple of songs and everything, and all of a sudden he went to a talk moment, and then he started apologizing. We were looking at each other like,
What?
And I'm telling everybody though, like, I'm like, bro, we can go out tomorrow now. And like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, regardless of if they don't like the apology, regardless if they don't like the fact that he apologized, or if they respected it, or whatever the case may be, people are gonna come to these shows just to see if he say anything about it.
Facts.
We can go out tomorrow.
Facts.
We can go out tomorrow. Of course, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. But
I think it's admirable for me being a J. Cole fan that he would say, you know what, I'm going to take the grown-up route. I could get into this. One, and with all respect to Jay, Jay's not a battle rapper.
But he's a dope lyricist.
Oh, he is one of the greatest lyricists, bro.
Dope lyricist.
He is one of the greatest lyricists. You can't touch that. But I just don't feel like he is the person that.
It's the energy behind battle rapping.
Let me clown. You're right. The battle rap, it's got a certain stigma behind it that has to be angry too, right? It's got to be, I hate your mama. Yeah, and so he's just more or less like, peace and love, baby. Let's hug the tree or something.
Riding bikes in New York City.
Riding bike with a t-shirt, a regular t-shirt, some jeans on. Yeah.
I swear everybody be like, I just want to ride bikes with him. I just want to go on a bike ride with him.
Yeah, because he's just like that person, you know what I mean? So that was love too, though.
For me,
you was ready.
When he apologized, it was kind of like
some of your colleagues hit you up about it too?
Yeah, I got a text message from friends, family, everything, bro. Like, what's up with your mans? And I'm just like,
whose mans is this?
Maybe this just not him. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's just not him. But, you know, hey, he did. The only thing I can say is I know for a fact from what he told us that he didn't even hear the song. He just was going off of text messages.
And the energy from other people.
Yeah. From what he told us.
So that was one of those baddest man hit my hands. Somebody do something. You slap somebody, now y'all fighting.
Yeah. That was
that was admirable for me. I feel like
he could have did
the grown man position.
I feel like
what he got to lose though. He don't have anything to prove to Kendrick though.
He don't. But like at the same time, what messes it up, if you will, is the fact that he put something out. And I feel like that's what it got.
Well,
people.
You know what? That's buyer's remorse, though, ain't?
Because he had put something out already that was coming at Kendrick.
Yeah, but that's buyer's remorse. Like, you know what, man? I shouldn't have did that. I'm better than that. I wrote a verse or two. Y'all heard it, but I'm bigger than that. So, bro, listen. I apologize for what I said. I'm okay. I'm man enough.
No. I get all of that. Like. But it don't hit me either way.
Right. I think it was cool that he apologized though.
Yeah, it don't hit me either way. I just wish we would have went out the next day. That's all I wish. We could have been touring for 2 years after that. That's all I wish. That's all I wish.
So what information would you have to pass to any individual trying to get into the music industry, not just rap, but the music industry? What information would you have? Because I'm sure if I'd have asked you this 20 years ago, you would have had different information than to tell me now, because the process and the way that things move now is a lot different than it did 20 years ago. So what information would you have? What information could you offer somebody that's saying, listen, I want to be a recording artist, whether it's rap or singing or whatever? What would you offer them about the industry that is no holds barred? Sometimes the truth hurts, but I'm going to give you this.
I would say the only thing that's the same is, as far as the advice, would be to get around people who know more than you, who's done more than you. But in that, make sure that they've done more. Make sure that they know more. I think from years to come, that will be, to me, that's the most sound advice that anyone can give you, because you can't, as if you want to be, let's just take artists for example. Like, as an artist, to know more than just being an artist matters.
To know the business of your business.
To know, yes. To be around people that's been doing this, have a good track record when it comes to their resume, or, you know what I'm saying, just to be around that, it helps you. And I say that that's one. But two, also, your peers matter too. Your peers matter. I tell a lot of the cats that, a lot of the young musicians, they be, you know, one guy I was talking to him, we did something together, and then we were leaving the situation. He was like, "Big bro, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go out and do these tours. Like, I feel like I'm ready, this, that. And so I told him, I said, well, I can't, I believe you. I'm not going to say that you are, and I'm not going to say that you aren't. I said, but, and there's nothing wrong with, and it's so crazy that I'm the OG. It's wild.
Who ever thunk you be the OG?
That is wild, bro. But I told him, I said, it's cool to connect with the OG, to build a relationship with the OG. It's cool. I said, but from my experience, I've gotten to where I've gotten due to my peers. I had the dude Trey that played with Bobby Brown.
Mm-hmm.
He put me on my first major gig. Now Trey plays bass, so he put me on my first major situation. But outside of that, Trey hasn't put me on anything. Now the thing is, I don't look at him sideways or anything. We play the same instrument,
and he did give you a shot at something.
Yeah,
you know?
something. So like,
because really, if he wanted to be ugly, he could have gigged it if he wanted to gig it because he's a bass player.
Yeah. And so like, I don't really come at Trey in any way because he only did one thing for me. No, Trey has always been a big supporter of me. So like, but the truth of the matter is, especially once you get to a certain level, certain age and all that stuff, you have your go-tos. So you being the young boy coming up or the young female coming up, you could be amazing. But if I get a call for something, you probably won't be the first person that I look at, depending on the situation.
Right.
If the situation is it's a huge situation, a very important thing, more than likely, I'm gonna call who I know for a fact is gonna make this. The name already sticks with their. I'm already good. I already know I can call this person, that person, that person. I know I'm gonna be good.
Yeah.
And that's how it was when I was the young boy.
So, with all your experience and all your connections, you brought some event to Savannah.
Yeah.
What was it? SOS?
SOS. So I was.
What does that stand for, and what is it?
Savannah on Stage. So basically, what the event is, well, how it came about. I was just thinking about how I started. And remember, I told you like I got the call to play at a church, didn't even know you could play make money at a church, and so just kind of looking at coming up in Savannah on the music scene. And with me being really green, like I told you, I was really green when I first started. Didn't know anything really. I just knew how to play. Talking to, connecting with other musicians and all that stuff. A lot of when we have stories and coming up and everything, for the most part, the stories that I was getting from them was they were sitting up under such and such, and this person that they were sitting up under, from backing major pastors to touring, these are people they were sitting up under were people that were doing it at the highest level. And coming up in Savannah, when I did decide to do the music thing at 18, there was really nothing like that here as far as people. Now the church that I played at, the first church that I played at ever, as far as making money, New Generation for Gospel, the pastor, Pastor Darden, he actually played organ. He's from Texas, and he was in the Army and everything. And I feel like I may be wrong, but I feel like that's how he ended up in Savannah. But he plays organ, and he used to play for the San Antonio Spurs, the NBA team. And so anything that I got, as far as sitting up under someone that has done something close to anything major was him. Honestly speaking, he took me off. Remember I told you about the transpose button,
right,
on the keyboard, right? There's no transpose button on the organ.
Yeah. No.
So what happened was I got hired there to play bass, and the same guy that called my mom and everything that got us into this door, he ended up leaving the church, and he was the organ player. And so what happened was once he left, rehearsals were happening, and I ended up playing keys. But they had a keyboard there, and they had a transpose button. And so I was using the transpose button, and I was doing that situation. But I feel like what happened was there was one rehearsal, Pastor Darden came in, and he looked at me. I feel like he saw something in me. And 2 weeks later, he was like, all right, I'm gonna put you on this organ. You're gonna play organ. Play organ. Ain't no transpose button on the organ.
I'm not playing no organ without a transpose button.
He want me to play organ?
Let somebody else play.
Bro. And so, but he just put me on there. But then he also showed me stuff like circle of fifths and stuff like that. And he showed me some stuff. But what that did for me was it challenged me.
It challenged you, yeah.
It challenged me. And I had to, for real, learn how to play in every key on the organ because there's no transpose button. So whatever song they decide to sing, I have to learn this in the actual key. I can't cheat. So it challenged me in that aspect. Now, granted, even though that happened, I moved to Atlanta. If I had to play any type of keyboards or anything, in the beginning, if I could find a transpose button, I'm gonna find this shit.
It's a transpose button on here
somewhere, and I'm gonna find it. But like, I end up in a lot of situations. Well, honestly speaking, it wasn't even ended up in a lot of situations. It was just like I end up finding out in like arranging stuff, not necessarily producing anything, but like arranging a show or arranging anything.
When you say arrange, pause for the people that don't know.
Okay.
That's when you get the music for the bass guitar, get the music for the keyboard, get the music for the horns, get the music for the guitar, and put it all together to make sense.
Right. So
is arranging, would that be considered composing as well?
In a sense. Okay. So the term arranging mostly comes in like for like shows. So like if you hear, let's say you go to a Mary J. Blige show, right? and you know what it sound like on the album.
Right.
But then you go to the show and they got extra stuff going on
Different
outside. That's an arrangement.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So what I ended up finding out was, for me, if I'm arranging something, I already have my experience, if you will, playing the organ at this church. So when I'm arranging something, if the song is in G, I'm really going to think different. If I'm playing in G, I'm going to think different when it comes to the arrangement. So once I saw that happening, it was like, I might need to just start playing in every key because like I have one thought in my favorite key, but because I'm playing somewhere else and because of the positions of my hands, it makes me think differently.
Yeah.
It makes me think differently. So the with him doing that, he was literally like the only one in my music career, if you will, in Savannah that had some sort of experience like on some sort of major level. And so now I get into the industry and I'm seeing how much I don't know and listening to everybody's stories, because these are all people that know a lot of stuff, but their stories are who they set up under. And the people that they set up under were doing it at some sort of high level. So I said to myself, man, I've gotten this far in my career. I've gotten like relationships with the top guys, not just anybody. Like I have like the top people in this thing on the musician side know who I am. Like
Justin Timberland's bass player or drummer, those type people.
those type people, yeah.
It's crazy.
And so like, it's a guy, his name is Adam Black. Shout out to Adam Blackstone. He's actually the reason why the Fantasia thing's happening too. But Adam Blackstone is the musician that all musicians want to be.
He's the musician's musician.
Like he's achieved his achievements. And I met Adam back in 2007 before he was this Adam. And that's pretty much how everything's been going, because relationships. I built this relationship with him. He was the musical director for Keisha Cole. I was playing for Jay Holiday. We was opening up for Keisha Cole, and that's how we met. And we played the same instrument. So now we on tour. We talking to chicks together. You know, hey, we the bass players of the tour. You know what I'm saying? Like we got real close. You know what I'm saying? So once he became this Adam that the world knows, you know, Grammy nominated Adam. He's won the Emmy. Like he's doing as a musician. Like he's really a musician. Like he has his own thing and everything, but the industry knows Adam as a musician. And he's like, in the sense, the first like musician in that aspect to be doing stuff that he's doing right now. And so like, no, I know him. I know I can call Adam today and be like, yo, Adam, I'm gonna do my event, bro. I need you to come. Like what's gonna take? I know he's gonna look out for me. I know he's gonna make sure he's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, because I know these people, like the first event is gonna be, I wanna make it Georgia based. So that's why the people from the original plan, which was supposed to happen in 2023, I think, ran into some red tape. And it wasn't just Savannah red tape, but it was also scheduling for the musicians as well. But I'm getting Justin Bieber's drummer. Well, he's out with Usher now. He's out with Usher right now. I'm getting him, Devin Sticks-Taylor. And I've been knowing Devin before he was doing this. I've been knowing Devin when Devin's just 31 now. So I met Devin when he was like 15, bro.
Wow.
Before he was doing anything. You know what I'm saying? And now he's like the drummer, like the guy.
So is it safe to say that you are definitely bringing another SOS Savannah on stage?
Yes, it's definitely
Savannah
coming. I'm going at it a whole nother way. And so the whole idea is to bring people that do this at the highest level into the city, because there's talent here. Now, granted, the way I'm doing it is going to bring people from everywhere,
right,
but it's still, I'm bringing it to the city.
When we talked about it and you told me that what you were doing as far as bringing Savannah on stage, and you were really passionate about, listen, when I was coming up, I didn't have those people to teach me and or kind of tutor or guide me. But because I am in that realm right now, I have these people, and I know all of these people, and I know bass players, drummers, saxophonists, keyboardists, guitarists. I know all of these people, and I want to give something to the musicians and the upcoming musicians in the Savannah area, if nothing more than a 2 or 3 day camp, so that they could learn from some of the people that's, like you said, doing it on the highest level. Yeah. So that's just, for me, that was cool, right? Because that just shows that you are trying to give back. Not trying, that you are actually.
So the first one was supposed to happen, was it 24? The first one was supposed to happen, was it last year? It could have been 22. Whenever it was supposed to happen, I ran into like red tape when it came to Savannah, and like I was gonna go through a certain situation, but then that ended up falling through.
Is it because of the venue, or
the venue played a part? But the venue wasn't going to be a problem. The venue was set based off of who I was going through.
Okay, gotcha.
But when that fell apart, but the crazy thing is, like, the day that fell apart, the very next day I started getting phone calls from the musicians saying that they was about to go out. You know,
so it's like it all happened for a reason.
Yes.
So it would have been it wouldn't have been to your liking if it would have went off anyway, because some of the people wasn't
going to be there.
But you did do some. You did something here in Savannah, in the city, where you and some musicians went out to,
like, a little jam session.
Yeah, jam sessions. Yeah. How was that?
So it was cool. I learned that I may need to go about it another way, because my experience with jam sessions has just been Atlanta. Never seen anything like that like this or that in Savannah. So my experiences when it comes to like open mic jam sessions in Atlanta, and you've been to Apache, you know what I'm saying? So like that's my experience. So when we did it, like, I had a house band, but they didn't realize the magnitude of what was going on. Like, they had rehearsed their own little set and everything. Right. But it was just like, that's dope, but like, this is jam. You had a house band, and then you had people kind of scared to come up to sing, but the musicians are telling me like, "Yo, she can sing," but they didn't want to sing. It's like, no. That's the whole point of this.
Is for people to come out.
Just come out.
I would have came out and said, "Basketball is my favorite." I don't really know what the laugh was about. I must have
you said something funny.
Okay, so no.
But it ended up cool though. Yeah, like, it ended up cool. But it's like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I got to do more of these,
right?
And just kind of give everybody like what this is supposed to be like. You know what I'm saying? And I might, the next time I do it, I might bring some of the cats from Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of.
So anytime you get ready to do something like that, please feel free to stop by here, and we can help promote and push the your agenda on that, because I just think that that's real cool for somebody to, because the reality is all you guys are playing for superstars. Let's just call it that. And that means your time is valuable. And when you take of your time to give to somebody else, you're not putting them in a position where they have to hire you for something. You're saying, you know what? We know this. We want to give this back to you. Here is our gift to you. When you give of your time like that, it's just a real cool thing. So if you guys are coming...
And the relationships is helping me, because I could talk to a musician, and before I can really finish, they're just like, bro, it's me and you. Whatever you need, you know, I'm there.
If you need a keyboard player to play in W, I am there, bro.
I got you.
Appreciate it. I had to bring my my upright piano.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Too easy, baby. Speaking of upright, you also play upright bass too, didn't you?
Yeah, that was surprising though, Rick.
So how was that?
So basically, what happened? I ain't even gonna cap you, bro. So what happened was when it came to me, I just said, yeah. Never played it before in my life.
Hey, we needed somebody to play upright. Yeah, I got you.
Never played it before in my life. Now, I do know what I didn't know.
It's fretless too, yeah.
Yes, that's what I didn't know. And I had a fretless bass. I bought one.
Because of or
No,
already?
I bought one before.
Okay.
All that. So because I knew that, I was like, well, maybe I can figure it out. I can figure it out. And so like literally the first gig was Alicia. Was AK. So
call her Alicia Keys. Please.
It was
and another one.
it was her. And so like it was
that the Tiny Desk?
The Tiny Desk wasn't the first time I did it, but
you did
I
the
did do the Tiny Desk with her.
And you played
and
the
I played
upright.
upright. Yeah. I did do that Tiny Desk.
Yeah.
I did do that. Story about that.
Okay.
But yeah, it was her. It was her. It was that gig to where it was just like, and you play upright. Yeah.
Like I always sit up right when I play. So I always sit up right when I play. So yes.
I couldn't say no. Like that was just going to cancel me to make that money. So it was just like,
let's get this paper, baby.
Yeah, I play it.
Of course.
And I try. They have the uprights that are like the 516, which is the big one.
Yeah, I know
the regular
what
one.
that is. Yeah, I know what it is. I don't know. I just know.
No, but I'm saying the regular upright. It's just like
the regular one.
But they have different uprights that are like smaller.
Okay.
So I tried to put that on the rider just because for some reason I felt like that was going to be better because
the smaller one.
Yeah. So when I did it, we had an email thread, and the guy Adam, because that was his gig, but so he put me on it, and so I put in the email. The little one, Adam was like, he replied, "Now we might want to go with the 516 and this, that. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I could do that. I could do that.
I don't really like that. Ain't my favorite. that ain't really my favorite one. We'll do the 5. Let's do the 516.
I definitely have never. I ain't gonna say never, but like as far as a gig.
Right.
I've never played an upright bass on the gig. Never. I've dibbled and dabbled. And I mean for real dibble and dabble, bro. Like it wasn't.
More dibbling than dabbling?
Yes. Like it wasn't, I wasn't in it.
Right.
No, I was just.
Well, you look like you was in it on the Tiny Desk.
At that point, I done played it for her for like, we done did.
So how was the first night playing it?
It was cool. It wasn't the best. But at the same time, my first night doing it, and I was MDing. Adam put me in charge to MD it. So I had all of that to worry about too. That was like the worst a little bit. Just a little bit. But I have small bass player hands compared to other bass players. My hands are very small when it comes to bass players. So upright, it's a lot.
Really?
The strings are heavier. It's just so
Any
much.
blisters?
I got some, but not from the upright. It's just heavier. So the first gig that I actually played upright on with Alicia, we were in Switzerland, and it was a 2-day thing. So we had a show one day and show the next day. Fun fact, that show is actually on some flights.
So while people taking flights, so you can see the show.
See that show. I don't know which ones, whatever, but I just know I got tagged in a couple of people on flights and they saw the show or whatever. So that was pretty cool. But we did the 2 shows. The first show, made it through. That second show, we went in this for sound check, and I was playing regular bass. And so the sound guys, they were like, "Yeah, Ant, your bass is a little low today. Like, is the volume the same?" I said, "The volume's the same. My fingers are tight." My fingers are worn out from that upright because I've been rehearsing. Not only did we do the shows, I've been rehearsing for 2 weeks with this upright.
Man, no pressure that day. And MDing. No pressure.
Bro. But we got through it. She was happy. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, I bet I can play up right now. Let's go.
Another thing that I saw you on was we had a family member pass who was one of your cousins.
Yeah.
And he was really close with you. Like you guys grew up like brothers.
Yeah.
And so he passed, and I remember, if I remember correctly, was Today's Show.
Yeah, one of them early morning.
Yeah,
shows.
early morning show, and the group that you all were in when you were children was called Generation 5.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, you had Alicia Keys hold up 5.
Well, it was me.
Didn't she do it too?
Oh. I didn't even let her know what was going on.
Okay.
I was hoping that the camera caught it. Of course, I can't see what's happening.
Yeah, a camera caught it.
And the camera caught it. Like Kamisha, because she took the picture of it.
Yeah.
And she sent it to me. And
had all our family holding up 5 and representations for the generation of 5s, so we lost one of our cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was special.
Yeah.
That was special. I was trying to figure out what I could do because I knew that I was going to be on TV, like around that time.
And you had the light, you had the attention,
yeah.
And let's just call it what it is. You have the celebrity status enough to be around those people to be able to do something like that.
Yeah.
And even though a lot of people didn't know what it was,
right,
the family knew what it was.
The family knew what was happening.
Yeah. So we gonna hold up 5 for Reese.
5 for Reese.
Rest in peace, baby.
Rest in peace, my bro.
So let's talk about your acting. Let's talk about it. A lot of people don't know this about Aunt Parrish. Let's set the stage and tell the people about your acting experience. What did you do? What movie was it? And what was your part in this particular movie?
Okay, so I've actually been in a couple of situations.
Let's talk about both of them. Tell me the first one.
I can't remember the name of it.
Okay,
I know
cool.
Robin Givens was in it, but I was it was and the crazy thing, it was the very first episode. It was a series.
Okay.
And so I was a part of the banquet band. Had an upright.
Now you know I'm going to look for Robin Givens.
It's Robin Givens. It's a series.
I'm going to find the series.
I can't remember the name of the series. I can't remember that.
Let's see if we can get somebody to look up a Robin Givens television series. At least that'll help you know the name.
If you was to say it, if you was to go through the names, I would be like, yeah, that's it. But it was actually the first episode, and we shot it. I forgot all about it.
Did you know you were gonna be in the first episode?
No clue.
Had no idea you was in the pilot.
No idea. And someone texted me, was like, Did you do this? And I'm looking, and I'm like, I've done some stuff. Like, who's in it? And then they were like, Robin Givens, and I was like, oh yeah. They was like, you need to go check it out. And so I pulled it up. Look, it's the very first episode. That was pretty cool.
So the camera got on your face?
Yeah, the camera got
that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was in a movie shot in Charlotte called April Fools.
April Fools.
Yeah, so I was working at the resort, and so what it was is this particular movie, somebody was coming into the resort, and so I was one of the doormen, and I held the door. And so I went back to look at the movie, and I saw me for like 2 seconds.
No, that's kind of how mine was.
Like 2 seconds.
No, that's kind of how mine was. But it was like 2 seconds 3 times.
2. I was 2 seconds one time. Probably one of. If I didn't know I opened that door, I wouldn't know that I opened that door. Dude, that was hilarious. So what is the
next one was the Aretha
Come Through
thing. That was
the Aretha Franklin story.
Yes, that was on the National Geographic thing. But like, it's a series though. It's like they talk about different celebrities. So there was like one with Albert Einstein. Then there's the Aretha story. Then there's something else. But it was during the pandemic. Everything was shut down. I ain't had no shows, no nothing. And
so you did some. If memory serves me, you made some changes, if you will. You
cut
made
off
some changes.
All my facial hair.
Yeah.
Well, originally I was only supposed to be in one scene.
Okay.
which was the church scene where they had like it was like the James Cleveland, Aretha walking into his church.
I come through with James Cleveland. Now you bringing up memories of old school stuff.
Yeah,
come on, man.
It was like her walking into James Cleveland church, and you know what I'm saying. So we were, and the cool thing about that show though, what you hear as far as the playing, that's actually us. That was the cool thing about that.
That's
Whereas
cool.
that first show with Robin Givens, that ain't us. I'm just there. But this one, this was actually me playing. What you heard was us. But we did that. But then what happened was there was another scene where someone else was already casted for this part. And he had lines and everything. So he made it through that stuff, but then he decided that he didn't want to do it no more. I don't know what that was about.
Come to you then.
And so then I got the call and it was like, we need you to finish this out, So that's when I had to shave off all.
You had talking parts? I
ain't had no talking parts. I missed that.
It's okay.
But I ended up in the like not the VIP, but he's a for real cast member, not just an extra.
Ricky user, let Ricky go over there. Yeah. Whatever.
I ended up there.
Anthony, can we get you something?
I definitely ended up there, Doc. I ended up there. I'm a celebrity today.
How was that feeling, man?
Man, it was dope. Like it was like you had the people on my hair and stuff, and it was I am important today.
So, through your experience and your journey, tell me, one, what was one of the worst experience you had, no matter what it was or who it was with, and then tell me one of the most amazing or greatest experience you had with whoever. I mean, and I know it might take a minute to think about it with being in the industry over 20 plus years. So that's why I'm not asking for the one, just one of them.
So I had there was, I don't even want to talk about that tour. So
okay, let's not.
I would say because that was a terrible experience, but I would say that was probably my worst tour experience, but just my worst experience. Honestly speaking, even though I talked to him not too long ago, and it's like we there's no animosity or anything. But honestly, the worst experience for me, was when me and T-Pain fell out. Because
you was his music director
I was
for a
music
while.
director for a long time. I worked with him for 10 years. Probably was his MD for 7 of those years.
That was another thing. We were talking one time, and you got a phone call, and you said, that's such and such. And I said, who was that? And you said T-Pain. I'm like, don't call him that. Call him T-Pain. You called him by his name.
Oh, no. I call him Timothy.
Yeah.
His name is totally Fahim, but I call him Timothy just, I know the T stand for Tallahassee, but I call him Timothy.
I had no idea. I just know he's T-Pain. Yeah. So put some respect on it. But
that's probably the worst.
Because y'all had a really, really tight relationship, yeah?
He would come out with, bro, like it was like any other situation. I told you I'm Fantasia's musical director now.
Right.
And even though it's early, I feel like we would definitely get to that point. You know what I'm saying? But
she seemed to be real cool people.
Yeah, she's
like
cool.
If I could read people,
she's cool. We're not at that point, but like with anybody I've ever worked with on a celebrity type deal, like T-Pain was probably the most it's not down to earth, but just
family type.
Yes, in that sense.
Like it's almost like it's your cousin. Or
I would just
brother.
go to his house, bro. Like we would just
I ain't never got no invitation.
We just hang out.
I never got an invitation.
our relationship was so dope, man. Like, cause I was initially start off as just his bass player.
How did y'all meet?
So, Gerald Hayward, world-renowned drummer, which is crazy because Payne plays drums and Gerald used to play for Chris Brown. And so Payne was opening for Chris Brown on one of them tours back in the day. And he already knew who Gerald was because he played drums.
Right.
So if you're like a drummer and you really doing this, more than likely you will know who Gerald Hayward is. And so he knew who Gerald was, and they got close on that tour. They got cool on that tour, and he made Gerald his MD. And so they was putting the band together. This is the first T-Pain's first band. Putting the band together, and this is like 2011, around there. And me and Gerald met before on another Monica situation. And so it was a question of like, what's the bass player that's in Atlanta? And so he called my homie, my OG, Kern Brantley. And he called Kern and was like, bro, what's that bass player in Atlanta? Da, da, da. So Kern was like, and Parrish. So then Kern called me to see if I was even available. So, and the crazy thing is that tour I was just saying was the worst tour. I just came off that tour and it was so terrible. And I just finished that tour and ended up getting a call from Kern. Hey, you available, bro? Like this T-Pain situation. Hell yeah. Cause now he's literally the first artist that I've got a call to play for who I was actually some sort of a fan of.
And in 2011, he was out there doing stuff.
Payne was killing.
Yeah.
And so like I've played for a lot of people, and you know, not to say they weren't good or anything, but I would say I wasn't necessarily a fan. Like I even told Fantasia, like, you're the artist number 2 out of my 20 plus years. So when I got the call, because I actually like you, it's like, okay, where I need to be.
Right.
And so that's how it was with T-Pain. So I was like, hell yeah, T-Pain, yes.
Sign me up.
Where we going? Where I need to be. And that's how it all started. But what happened, we did a tour, and I was in that band, I was the only musician in that band that was from Atlanta. Now, we had a guitar player, but they ended up replacing him with my homie, big homie Sean Carrington, rest in peace, big homie. They replaced him with Sean, and so now I'm the only musician in the band that lives in Atlanta. T-Pain lives in Atlanta. So we were on tour, and I was on his tour bus, and we were just talking, you know what I'm saying? This dude, his tour bus used to be lit. He had porn happening on every TV. It was a different joint. So we on the bus, we just kicking or whatever. So
I'm just gonna take that ride. I'm just gonna ride with them.
So we just kicking it, whatever. And so he playing music, you know what I'm saying? He got it hooked up, whatever. And so some just said, yo, show him a track. And so I was like, yo, I want you to hear something. So I showed him the joint. It's a song I wrote, so I'm singing it and all that stuff, whatever. So Payne he's vibing. He was like, nigga, that's you? I said, yeah, that's me. He was like, man, I feel like I want to record that. I was like, nigga, let's go. And so he was like, you live in Atlanta, right? I said, yeah. And after that tour, he would invite me over to his house. We would track together. I would go out, Apache, Payne, you want to come out? He would pull up. Like our relationship was so dope, bro. Like now, granted, on the musician side of it, because he ended up making me his musical director.
Right.
And so on the musician side of it, I wasn't making what I should have been. But it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his team's fault. It was totally my fault. But I was looking at the fact that this nigga got me in the studio producing stuff and writing stuff.
T-Pain.
Nigga, in the long run,
I'm winning.
I'm cool. I don't care about this, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is fine. This is fun. But he got me in the studio. On top of the fact, that's like my homie. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking out. But once things started moving. 'Cause I look at my life as levels. So that was one level. Then once that next level came, which is Alicia Keys, the Keith Sweat stuff. Then literally in the same year of Keith Sweat, J. Cole. All this stuff was happening.
And you've been with Cole now for a while.
Yeah, I've been with Cole, it's going on 7 years.
Yeah.
And so all this stuff is happening. For me, it was almost like not that he felt a certain way that I was doing this stuff, but he felt a certain way in the sense of I may not want to mess with him anymore because now I'm playing for Alicia Keys.
He could have felt like you was outgrowing him.
Yes. Which was crazy to me because it was like, and I've had the conversation with him.
You my man.
Like, and it was so crazy. And 2019, I know when it happened. It was 2019 when the last phone call about anything concerned to him happened. And with that phone call, it was a situation where, and it wasn't him. I was talking to his new management at the time, and it was a situation where they wanted us to do something. Now, this was something that we already did, but the difference between the first time we did it and this time, the first time we did it was something that we was just used to. It was called a show dat. So what the show dat is, we would go in the studio and record the live show. So whenever the band ain't there, he still has the live show.
Right.
So the first time we did that, all we did was go in the studio and record what we've been playing for years.
Right.
The second time they want us to do it, they want us to create. We have to create a whole new show. I know I got other stuff I have to do in the back end because I'm the music director. And on top of the fact, he was going out on tour. And so on top of the fact, if we were going out on that tour, y'all would have been paying us for rehearsals anyway.
Right.
So the numbers ain't the same. And so what happened was it got really weird in that sense, in which I didn't understand. I'm like, I'm totally clear with y'all. Like, we are doing way more work this time than we did the first time. Why is it a problem? And I honestly feel just how everything moved. I feel like he felt, just knowing him all them years, I felt like he felt, yeah, Ant big time now. Ant's big time now, and you know what I'm saying, I ain't even going to fool with it. Like I really feel that was his energy. That was his energy. Yeah. Because he already, and the crazy thing is because I just saw him a couple of months prior to that. I was out with Cole. That was my first tour out with Cole, 2018. And we stopped in Seattle to do the Bumbershoot Festival during the tour. Payne was on the ticket at the Bumbershoot Festival. I even went down and hung out with them and the crew and everything, right. Hung out, all that stuff. I went with him to the stage while he was performing. I ran out there on the stage doing what we would normally do, You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw
you was at home again.
Yes, that was my guy. You know what I'm saying? So I saw my guy. So when this thing happened, it really was something before that. They wanted us to come. He had a show like the day after the very last day of that J. Cole tour, which was perfect. I said, I can do it. I just got to figure out who's going to fly me where. That was the only problem I had. And it wasn't even a problem. It's just figuring out
where I need to move,
who gonna get me to wherever I need to get to. And then it was like he wanted to rehearse. Cool. Here are the dates that I'm off on this tour. Up until his show, right. Here are the dates that I'm off on this tour. Y'all can fly me in. We can get these 2 days in or whatever the case may be. And on these dates, y'all can fly me in. We can get it done and fly me back out to where I need to go. The management at the time, they wasn't liking the fact that they had to fly me in. I'm like, but I'm the musical director. Like, what? And I'm the only one you got to fly in. Everybody else lives in Atlanta.
But yeah, why wouldn't they want to fly you
in? What's the problem? And so, because that became a problem, and I don't want to make it seem like it's all him, because I know management. They could have told him anything.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
They're not always going to tell the boss the truth.
No, they could have told him anything. And what happens is I already got the band prepared to do his show to get a phone call to say, well, we ain't gonna use the band. And it's all because y'all didn't want to fly me in for a rehearsal. So I don't know what was said to him.
Right.
So that happened in 2018, and then right at 2019 when that other stuff happened. And then that was it. And that was probably like the worst thing. It was kind of like, this is crazy because
jacked up.
Because like when I talked to any other musician, like right after that, and they would talk to me about pain and everything, and I'd be like, yeah, we don't work together no more. Everyone had pretty much the same thing. Like, nah, that's disappointing. Because like me and Pain had a thing, bro. Like we had something and it was noticeable.
Right.
Through the music.
It worked. It was the partnership that worked.
That worked, bro.
Yeah.
And so when that ended, that was, I would honestly say that was like the worst time as far as my career is concerned.
But there's an upside. The upside is that you said that you guys have been conversing.
Yeah, I went to one of his events, the road manager, which I've been cool with because he was Payne's road manager when I first got there. Then they ended up parting ways, but he ended up coming back. He's actually Keith Sweat's nephew. And so that's how I ended up working with Keith.
Right. Keith Sweat, not Keith. And another one.
But he's back with Payne now and everything. And so like Payne had a big booty contest. A big booty, how do you say it?
Big booty hoes, open that. Boom, boom.
You know how they have like the Miss America and all that stuff? It was kind of that thing, but it was big booty.
Okay.
And so I was talking to his road manager and he was like, you coming to Payne thing? I was like, what thing? It's like the big booty contest. I said, put me on the list. I'll be there. And he got me on the list. I went. It was a good time.
That's cool. It seemed like he'd be pretty fun to hang around.
It was a good time.
Like he seemed like...
It was a good time. And he was definitely surprised. He was surprised. Like when I came up to him, I was like, what up, Timothy? And I could look at him. He was so surprised. He was like, oh,
I know something about T-Pain that a lot of people might not know. I know.
What's that?
He like the bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, we talked and everything. I told him I'm happy for him because he's done a lot. Like
he's been moving.
He's been moving. Like he's been moving. So I told him I'm happy for him.
And the
everything.
dude could really sing. He ain't just a rapper.
No,
like he could sing. He won the first episode, if I remember correctly, of The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And when he won.
And I was trying to figure the voice out the whole time. And I was just like.
What's crazy is I didn't watch that season. My mom hit me because she's a fan of The Masked Singer. She loves that show. So she hit me. A bunch of other people hit me. I didn't even watch it. So many people hit me when he won. And not my mom, but she just hit me because it was just like, your boy T-Pain. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But everybody else was like, oh, so he can really sing. I'm like, bro, that's not... I need y'all to understand, auto-tune just don't correct. If you can't sing, you still can't sing with auto-tune.
Well,
you got to have some sort of something. You got to know.
Regular people, we don't know that. We just know that.
Auto-tune was like, it just fixes it.
So during The Masked Singer, me, Denise, Dina, we were going back and forth. I know who that is. When I heard Bow Wow, I knew it was him.
You knew it.
When I heard Gladys Knight, I knew it was her. When I heard Aretha, not Aretha, Patty.
Yeah, you knew
it was her. When I heard Anita, I'm Anita Baker fan.
Yeah.
When I know you can't hide that from me. So some people we calling out, we like, yeah, that's such and such, that's such and such, that's such and such. We
nobody knew Pain.
I had no idea.
Bro, because
the songs that he sung wasn't what you would think a hip-hop artist would do, right? So he threw you because he sung other songs.
Yeah.
And then I saw not long ago he had a thing on maybe Netflix or something where he like standing in a little like a lounge and he's actually singing without the auto-tune. Yeah, that was crazy. He covered a lot of stuff.
We did one. You might not have seen it. He did a Tiny Desk. I will argue he honestly shot Tiny Desk up.
Really?
Because he did a Tiny Desk with the keyboard player that I had at the time. His name was Toro. This was the beginning of my MD with him. So he did a Tiny Desk with just him and Toro. And that went nuts on the internet because everybody was like, yo, T-Pain can really sing.
I didn't know.
And what happened was after that Tiny Desk, NPR bought him back to do the concert series Tiny Desk. That's the one I did. It was me, and it was a new keyboard player at this time, and it was the singers. That's all it was. So we did a whole NPR thing. Like, but the thing was, and like you said, I'm guessing people didn't realize auto-tune just don't fix you. Like you gotta know, you gotta have some sort of voice.
Like, for example, you think if I started singing auto-tune, people would know it's me?
What you mean?
Like if I sang like
So here's the thing, Ricky. So the thing is, I know that you're musical. So you're not even a good example. Because you can probably go in and sing a melody and it'll be close enough to where even if you hear the auto-tune, it's going to be all right.
Well, thank you. So anybody looking for somebody to what? I just got...
He became an artist immediately.
I got to capitalize on this moment. Listen, I got Ant here saying, listen, I'm a capitalize. Anybody needing a singer?
Became an artist immediately.
Listen, bro. I got to capitalize on this moment. Anybody need a singer? Holla at your boy.
But yeah, T-Pain, I would say
that was the worst.
That was the worst and the best.
The reconnect being the best?
No, the best is being
on the tour with
on tour with him. And working with him as a musical director because it was easy. It wasn't easy. I ain't gonna say that. But it was certain things that I didn't have to do because he was so involved. And the fact that he was so and with him being involved, he's also a freaking musical genius. So anything he gave, even if it was kind of
still sharp,
it's still okay. I'll fix it to where it's, you know what I'm saying. But like he was involved, and it was probably I will honestly say it was the highlight. Honestly, say it was the highlight, one of the highlights of my career. Like to work with him in the capacity that I did. You know, I've worked with a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Now, the dream was fun. You forget his records. You really forget. Yeah, because I was trying to think of one. But once you hear him, you like, this nigga did have some smashes. Like you forget. You forget. I'm guilty. Yes, and I was guilty because how that even happened, when I was out with Kelly, when I was out with Kelly Rowland. Another one. When I was out with Kelly Rowland, The Dream and Kelly's album came out the same day. And The Dream wrote one of the songs, well, it was like the single on Kelly's album, Dirty Laundry. Wow. And so like what ended up happening, because he was a part of her project and their project was coming out the same day, they decided to do a tour together. And The Dream opened up for her. Like we did, was it Jay Leno or something like that? We did that. They did the song because he also had a song on her album, that particular album that he was featured on, that he co-wrote. So like we did that song on Jay Leno and everything. So it was a whole little package thing going on. So when the tour happened, we were opening up. Dream was opening up for Kelly, but the band was playing for him and Kelly. And so then but Kelly got the call to do the X Factor, and that just kind of messed up so many dates. Yeah. But Dream was going out and doing Europe, so he took the same band with him to Europe. Yeah, they called me, but I was busy. I get you. Yeah, I just didn't have time. I had to go to work. I get you. So with all your experience and everything that you have and all of your accolades and everything that you've accomplished so far, if you could work with one person that you haven't worked with yet,
who would that person be and why? One person that you have not worked with yet.
I would say Beyonce. And not because of what people would normally would probably think. But I'm saying her because I almost was her bass player.
Wow, but you had to be the woman though, right?
So that's funny. So what happened was
that's funny.
What happened was before the all-female band, it was the guy I just mentioned, Kern. Guy Kern. So the guy Adam Blackstone, who he is now with all the counts and all the stuff, right. Kern was that before Adam was. Now Adam definitely took it to a whole nother level, but Kern was that guy. And so I got in good with Kern, and I feel like it was a couple of things. It was he was cool with my energy, and he knew I could play whatever. But then there was like this Monica situation that I ended up getting released from, which wasn't my fault, and he knew it wasn't my fault, and so it was almost like he was looking out for me
to make up for
that.
Right.
And so like a lot of stuff was going. He would call me for a lot of stuff. That's how I got to Neo, because of him. But because I was so in, so what happened was he was Beyonce's musical director. Well, he was Destiny's Child's musical director. Then when Beyonce went solo, that first album, she bought Kern with her, and Kern was her musical director. And they did the whole that live DVD, that live show that's out from that first album and everything. That's Kern. That's all that stuff, whatever. And they end up going with the all-female band. And so the original plan was to have the all-female band for a allotted time. And after this time was up, then they was going to bring
the real band.
The fellas back. Kern was at a point in his career where he had all these accounts. So he was kind of grooming me, getting me set up. So once that band came back, he just put me on it.
Right.
But she just, to me, the traction of her with the all-female band just kind of went viral and all that stuff. So they just kept the situation. And so that just never happened. So Beyonce will be the one that I'm like, yeah. But now she don't have the all-girl band. Now she don't. But like, she would be the one that's like, yeah, that's the one I would want to work with. Just because I could have.
Yeah.
I almost,
because it was in the making.
Yeah.
So, Ant, listen, brother, I appreciate you taking your time. Know you got a busy schedule, and we here at Clever Conversations appreciate you taking your time to come goof off with your boy, have some fun, make some memories and some moments, man. Yes. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for stopping by, bro. Thank you. Tell the people. First, do you have any projects? Are you working on anything?
I'm working on a project for me. I have no idea when it's coming out. No idea. I have a couple of features that I'm trying to get. One being T-Pain and another one being Raphael Sadiq. And Clever. So I don't know. So I don't know when that one's actually coming out. But I've also been working with Raphael Sadiq on a project. I don't think I should say it.
Well, let's not. We'll wait for it.
I've been working on him with on a major project, and his camp has also put me in charge of another major project.
So we got some stuff to look forward to you coming out.
Yeah, so like I got some things happening.
So tell the people, how can they reach you? Give them your social. How can they reach you?
My Instagram. I have a Facebook and TikTok and all that stuff, but Instagram is the way. It's Ant _HEFD. That's my Instagram handle. You can see everything, Ant Parrish, who I'm working with, what I'm working on, my son, all that stuff.
Talking about your son, how old is he?
He's 15.
And how tall is he? Like 17'3"? What is this giant of a young man?
He's definitely like 6'2", 6'1", 6'2".
And so the word on the block, I'm just going to put it out. The word on the block is your son is driving now?
Yeah, he has his learner permit now, and it's he's getting into it.
Dude, and time flies, bro.
It does, and I'm actually excited.
Yeah, hey, go to the grocery store and grab some
listen,
chips.
I cannot wait till it ain't July because he didn't get his permit on his birthday, so it's like August maybe. I can't wait till August of 2025, bro. You get them license. I ain't gotta if I have to wake up, it's just to wake him up. You go to school.
Take the other car. Don't take my other car.
Listen.
Take the other car.
I'm hoping for this tour. I'm hoping for nothing to happen with this tour with Cole, so I can go ahead and get him his car.
So you got a tour coming up with Cole?
Yes. The word is April. Well, after April. I have no specific date of when anything starts, but the word is after April, after the Dreamville Festival, which the Dreamville Festival is always in maybe like the first weekend of April. So after that Dreamville Festival,
we're going on tour.
Supposed to be going on tour.
Is it just the United States or is it other countries?
It's supposed to be a world tour, so it'll be states and
yeah. So tell me if you need a singer.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
So listen, man, we appreciate you coming by, messing with us, goofing off with us. We appreciate you. Thank you for taking your time. Please listen. Do not forget to like, share, comment, and more importantly, subscribe to our channel. We got a lot more stuff coming, man. We got a lot more stuff coming. So please stay tuned to Clever Conversations Podcast. And we like to end every episode by saying, 2 fingers, love. We out.